from the general conference had been sitting outside the airport for 7 hours waiting for us because they had been there a couple hours ahead of time, and then we were diverted, and then they couldn't leave because they didn't know when we might come back. So they had to hang out. So we didn't get in until Thursday morning. I'll tell you, that was a long day. Interestingly, as we landed there, we all got through going to customs, and we got separated because some had e-visas and some of us had regular passport stamped visas. And it happened to be that the 5 ladies had the e-visas. And the 2 guys, we went on through, and we waited, and no one showed up. 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. I'm starting to kind of like, all the luggage, nobody's down there at the carousel anymore. Everything has we picked up everybody's luggage, no ladies. After half an hour, I was really getting spooked. You know, I'm in a foreign country, I'm exhausted, and what's happened to all the ladies? So I went back over to the security guard and I told him, he said, well, you can't go back upstairs to the customs thing. And I told him what happened, and I said, I'm really concerned. I don't know, how am I going to find out what's happened to them? Well, he says, okay, you can go back up just to this side of the metal detector, but you can't go through. Okay, so I went up there and talked to the people there. Well, they were kind of startled I was there. So they went over and got some other official, and they said, oh yeah, they're being held in customs. And I says, okay, held for how long? It's been 30 minutes, you know. Well, he comes back a few minutes later and says, well, I think they're going to be coming through pretty soon. I say, okay. Well, it turns out, at the time that they went through their e-visa, they all got together, and they had not all been together, only 2 of them had. So everybody, these 5 ladies, were all meeting for the first time. And they were going through the e-visa, and the guy said, oh, wait a minute, what are you here for? And they said, well, we're here on a mission trip, we're going to be doing medical missionary work and stuff. And he goes, no. He said, you're getting back on the same plane you came in on. And they're going like, what? And the one gal, she is a sweet Leticia, and she started praying. She said, oh Lord, you didn't bring us this far to turn us home when we're 5 minutes out the door into India. So anyway, they were kind of sitting there, and he was back and forth on the phone to his supervisor, and they were saying, no, they're not going to be admitted. They're going to be sent back. And so anyway, unbeknownst to us, we didn't know what was going on. Another lady had come up, and she had an e-visa. And so she was waiting in line behind them to be cleared or whatever. She didn't know what was going on. So Leticia turns to the agent and she says, you know, this lady shouldn't have to stand here waiting while you're dealing with us. Why don't you go ahead and process her? I said, what? She says, well, we're all together and she's by herself. Why don't you just, he says, really, you want her to go ahead of you? She said, yeah. So he went ahead and processed this lady and let her through. And he got off the phone, he went back on the phone, got off the phone again. He came over there. He says, you know, that was a really kind thing for you to do. He says, I'm really surprised that she would let her go through when you're dealing with me and all these issues. And she says, well, it's just the right thing to do. And he says, you know, he says, I hung up with my supervisor. He says, and I'm praying about this. She said, praying? She's going like, whoa, this isn't like a Christian person, but you know, they pray. The Muslims and the Hindus pray all the time. So he says, you can't tell anybody what I'm going to do, but I want you all to go in. Go right now. Walk through, get through, and get out of the airport. He says, I'm going to let you go. And I mean, they were running out the thing when they came to me, but when they came out, they were in shifts, and so she came out first, Leticia, and I said, oh, what happened? I didn't know. I said, what happened? What happened? She said, I gotta talk to her. Well, these other officials were standing there. They didn't know that they had been detained and were actually going to be sent home. And so she's telling them, like, whoa, now we've got 4 more. Where are the rest of them? Well, 2 more came through, then 1 more, and then 5 minutes later, here comes Debbie. Oh, I was so relieved. We got out and we almost ran out of the airport with our stuff, and there was the room waiting. So, you know, Lord has things all planned out, because that man had to be impressed with these Christian gals that were coming in to do this. But he turned to this one gal, because she had literature in her bag, and he says, and you better not be preaching. He told her, he says, well, you do. He says, you're out of here, you know. And she said, I'm not preaching. Well, she's on the medical missionary team. Leticia, the one that you talked to the first, was one of the speakers. And she says, oh, thank you, Lord, I didn't have to lie. So anyway, that's just an introduction. It was a wonderful trip, and I think you go ahead and start this. We're going to run through a short, it's about 22 minutes, and I'll just kind of try and talk over it because I didn't put any music with it, but there's a couple videos in there. So hold on to your seatbelts because I'm not a great photographer, and I'm doing a lot of this out of the car and out of the rickshaw. So you're just going to have to kind of bear with the photography, okay? So we started out that morning, and we got into our hotel room. Our beautiful, we had not a hotel room, we were in an apartment that she had gotten for us. This is our whole team group as we were coming out, and you can see we were all dressed in these purple t-shirts, so we were pretty much, this is the president of the union there, Peter Hellman. And this is the start off in downtown where we were staying. You can see the little tuk-tuks there, they are by the thousands. This is a medical missionary couple that are just precious. They are really doing it on faith. They have stepped out to do this. The kids are all dressed in uniforms. Everybody looks neat over there. Everybody dresses beautifully. I was impressed. But you can see, I hope you can see, the congestion as it starts into the city. It just was horrendous. I have never, LA traffic jam would look like a cakewalk compared to this. This is a little clip of going down through the market in Delhi when I went up there. I just ran, I put this at the front just so we can get it out of the way. You can see it. Hold on. But there's no, well, I guess you can't hear the audio on it there, but anyway, you can hear. Oh, that's got it. I was in a pedicab, and this fellow is taking us for a ride down through Old Delhi, and we're going through the shopping area, and it is absolutely incredibly crowded and old. As you look up, you'll see the wiring. It's frightening. I got to thinking, what would I do if there was a fire in this place? I mean, how would you even know how to get out of it? It is just so incredibly congested. You can see the guy coming towards us with there, and you'll look up on the wire, you'll see the monkey running. And I got one picture of him, and then here comes his butt. But they're just all over. They just roam freely. Nobody pays any attention to them. They come down, they steal food off of the fruit vendors, and they run off and get up in the trees, and they get yelled at. And it's really comical, really. It's really interesting. But you can see the electric. I don't know how they keep all their electricity separated, and you know, if something goes wrong, I don't know how they'd ever find out which wire it was. But you can see the congestion, and everybody, and they just all get along. It's amazing. I was there for 2 weeks, and I never saw any road rage. And I'll tell you, I had plenty of it. I was like, how come they're cutting in front of us? We were first. Everybody just kind of goes like this, and they trade off, and they let you go through. And the cows, they have priority. They can just wander anywhere they want. The dogs, they wander across the street. Nobody runs over them. I don't understand how they manage, but they don't even look. People just go around them. Everybody manages. They all work together on that. So this isn't too long. But you can see going in there, it was pretty frightening. It got so narrow. So now this is the pictures. This is the guy, he's got his load, he's going to market with all of these items on their motorcycles. They live on their motorcycles. You can see the congestion there with all the motorcycles, the taxis, the tuk-tuks, the trucks, the buses. It's just constant, and the honking and the beeping never stops. We went to the Seventh-day Adventist orphanage and school. They have 1,200 students, and they have about 300 people that are in the orphanage itself. Wonderful place. After we've been in the city, driving through that gate into there was like going to heaven. I tell you, I was so impressed with our church. Beautiful grounds, everything spotless and maintained and beautifully taken care of. Not fancy, but just after being out in the city. This little girl in the middle, she's 8 years old, she just had her birthday. You'll see all the girls had their hair cut because of the lice. They have to have their hair cut. So there's only a few girls that were able to keep their hair. But they were the sweetest kind, and they love to come up and talk to you because they learn English. So they come, this is their having lunchtime. You were there, and just as they were all getting ready to have lunch. They all sit in little circles, and they all eat out of a certain pot. This is the cows having lunch. On the side of the road, the garbage is dumped. Everywhere is mounds of garbage. And that is, you see Uber in India. Now see the next one. Uber, India style. I had to take that picture. A friend of mine drives for Uber, so I got to send this to him. This is the street. The cows walking right down. You can see that. They just go freely anywhere. This is the El Paseo of Bangalore. Very, very high-end shopping. This is the modern plumbing. This is a real shocker when you go in there. You're not used to it. The Adventist Hospital is right a couple blocks from where we were staying, and they have a very big compound. And this is the church that was there in Bangalore, and they had me speak on the first Sabbath that I was there. Wonderful people. I'll tell you one thing, I'm wearing shoes. You're not allowed to wear shoes in church there, or in anybody's house. This is the people, they ride those motorcycles and their Vespas, scooters and everything all over. This is at our first medical mission site. This is the children that were there. You can see the mound of garbage behind there. They're burning it, they're sifting through it. It's horrible. The pollution is terrible. This was a medical site there that we did with. We put it through 100 people each day, maybe 110. And this is a lady with her baby. She'd come, he was sickly. They lived way out in the village. We were on the outskirts of the city. This is Leticia, the gal I was telling you that was the first one. She was just so engrossed with the children. They loved her. This is an Adventist family from the church there that we were working with. And this is the scooter that the medical missionary couple, they have. This is Jesus on it, so I thought that was really nice. This was the health speaker. Every night he would get up and he did a 5 to 10 minute health talk. And this was the site that I was at, looking down on it from there. It was in a courtyard of a boys' hostel by the college. This is another traffic jam getting through. This is just normal. This was not even a traffic jam. This was pretty easy. I got a kick out of this one because as you see on the next picture, you'll see this little boy sitting on the front of the motorcycle with his dad, and here's the other lady up in the front. They ride 3 and 4 and one time 5 people on one motor scooter. This is a Hindu temple. This was the gardener at one of our sites, and he's so happy he got a new shirt and a new pair of glasses, and they were reading glasses, but he didn't want to take them off because he thought he was styling. This little gal, she was so hungry. I was so glad we had some food. And this little girl, she was so precious. She just wanted to dance and dance with her little skirt flowing out everywhere. So she just twirled all around. This is a mosque, and at 5:10 every morning, they start blaring the loudspeakers and call them up there. This was our one time we had a veggie burger and French fries. We thought we had died and gone to heaven. I'll tell you, after eating rice twice a day and no vegetables, no anything. This is a produce stand. Shopping at. And this is in the park down the street. They had a women's exercise spot. So the gal got a kick out of this. This was our tour guide. One of the government buildings. They have beautiful buildings over there. The British left legacy. This is the Krishna Temple, and it's the second largest temple in the world. This was the monk, and I asked if I could take his picture, so he covered up his cell phone because he'd been texting before I got there, so he's got it very discreetly hidden. Everybody's on their cell phone, and this is Indian fruitcake. Very good, very good. This is the palace there in Bangalore, and we did just a drive-by. We didn't have time to really go in there. I took this flower picture because you can see where it starts, and then this is on around the plant. You can see how they start to bloom. It's really incredible. There's some beautiful flowers that we just don't see here, and that's the way it ends up at the end. So I thought that was kind of interesting flower there. This here, as you look up on the left there, it says faith, hope, and love. And then over on the right, and it says accident care, 24 hours. Here are the cows in the center of the freeway, of the highways, everywhere. This little gal's on the back of her dad's scooter, and she's doing her nails. And this was our one time that we had fresh vegetables from there, and you can see this is the one tuk-tuk that we saw that was Christian. They had these banners on there. This was our medical site the day that we had it at the site where I did the evening services. And you can see it's just a courtyard between the rooms that the boys use for the hostel for college. This man, he came on and he decided he was going to run the place for us. So he was kind of trying to redirect everybody, and we had to kind of do it. And this little gal showed up with these 2 kids, starving to death. We gave her a whole box of food, and we never worshipped. This gal lived across the street from us. This was his house. This was his food place. This one was down the street. I liked her because she was talking. Then this was the farmer that would come over across the street from us in the daytime and sell fruit and vegetables. This new high-rise is a big luxury high-rise. Now you saw the neighborhood that we're in. They are building this right in the middle of that, and it's a luxury. And the kids are coming from school. Everybody's dressed in a uniform. They really are well done. I just couldn't get over the cows. He's in the divider on the freeway, and he's sleeping. And this I thought was kind of interesting. It's sort of like a delivery truck, only it's on a motorcycle. This is our site that we did out in the country. We did 2 sites in the country, and this one was out of school. And Keisha there was one of my teammates, and she did the vacation Bible study with the children. They just loved her because she had a guitar. And this was the site. What they did was they rented wedding canopies. And this is where we were actually on the farm out there. You could see all the animals, and you could see that it was really a rural area. It was very, very needy. This was my speaker, and this little lady, you can see that's her hair. It's never been cut. It's just matted. It's like in dreadlocks. That's her on the left. The girl on the right, she couldn't take her glasses off either because she thought she was styling. And this is Letitia praying with the little gal there. But you notice her feet, no shoes. And this man, another one that just loved his glasses, wasn't going to take them. They're readers, but he didn't care. He was wearing them all day. I threw this one in for fun. Okay, this is the open air restroom for the guys. There's a little brother and sister, and they were just the sweetest. They wanted to follow me around because I was taking pictures. So they wanted to be in the picture. This is my family. Oh, no, wait a minute. They came over right after we were finished with that. It was a good thing. We finally got to go to a restaurant and order off a menu. We thought we were really doing really well there. And this cow was waiting for us outside. That's our car, and it's sitting right there. We had at the second to last night, I did, instead of preaching their sermon that they had, I did a testimonial. And it was amazing. The people, they didn't think it would work. And they came up, and this man's blind, and he comes from the blind church. This is the pollution. They burn everything. There's no, it's just gray. You don't even see the sun, ever. And here we are having a coconut water break on our way. These are the children. You can look at their feet. They're all barefoot. They are so, so poor in the villages, much worse than in the cities. They love to come up. Leticia was doing the dental work. The kids didn't even know what a toothbrush was. And so she was showing them these 2 little sisters. And they were like, what? A toothbrush? What do you do with that? The girls all got sunglasses. And they thought that was just the craziest thing. They didn't. I mean, why do you have sunglasses? You can't see the sun anyway with all the pollution. But they really thought that was cool, being able to have sunglasses. This is the normal. This is the normal for most of the kids there, and adults too, in the villages. This little boy, he was Mr. Personality. He could speak, they all learn English. So this is the game that they play. This is their only toy they have in the whole village, right there at that top. Whoa! Good, I'm waiting. And this one, he was so proud of his new shirt that he got. It was the girls, but he didn't care. Do it. So he could throw that top down, has a nail in it, and he could make that spin, he could do that. That's their toy. I felt so badly after we were there. I thought, oh, all the things I could have brought. But they're happy. They weren't complaining. They were all just amazing. Come on. They are. He's learning. He hasn't quite got it down to what his friend asked, but his friend just was like, over and over he could do that. Just a piece of wood they carved up and put a nail in it and a piece of rope, and they could play all day with that. These are the boys. They all want to be silly and have me take my picture, and then take their picture and show it to them. This was kind of a nice country home by their standards. And this is, it's called Kannada, is the language that they speak in the Hindu language. This was their print that we had done up there. This is the size of the roads. This is not abnormal, this is normal. They just dump everything on the side of the road. And I got a kick out of this picture because they're up on the top, they're resting. You can see them up there. Like, this is the church that we built, we had the wall built around it for. We did a dedication service out there. They were so happy. They'd been 9 years there on that side with that church, and they needed a compound to keep it safe and secure. So they, a quiet hour, this was their donation for their construction thing there. So we were doing a dedication ceremony. And they are just so grateful. They just do everything as a ceremony. Every place we went, they gave us beautiful lays every time. And it was always a half hour, 40-minute service. It was just like, okay, we're coming here to do these, you know, they're just sitting on the floor. Everybody comes in, takes their shoes off, and then they sit on the floor on rugs so that all the guests can have the chairs. And you can see I didn't do all the wreaths, but every single one of us got one of these lays everywhere we went. They were just, then they had lunch for us, and all of us took one look and said, no, thank you. We were 2 hours late anyway. This is the road to the church through the village. And nurses, would you like to go to work here? This is a nursing home, India style. This guy was on the side of the road. Take a look at the artistic endeavor on these pineapples. This is the church on the last Sabbath that we were doing inside Bangalore, and they were getting ready for baptisms. We had 9 baptisms. And this is, I just filmed one here. Raj was my interpreter, and what a wonderful person. I think he speaks about 4 languages. Then I took a little detour afterwards up to Delhi and went through the Taj Mahal and Agra and several of the forts and stuff. Well, you can see where my eyes were all the time. This little family was just so funny. This man is going through the garbage hunting for things. There's a real, I mean, there's 1.2 billion people. The buildings are phenomenal. They are building everywhere. Huge, beautiful complexes. McDonald's was empty. This was so funny. It was just, people don't have the money to go spend it. Here's like mother like daughter. She's teaching her how to navigate the streets. And this is another mother and daughter. She's teaching her how to rifle through the garbage and feed yourself. This is what they eat. They don't get fed. They go through the garbage. And you can see this again. They're right on the road, right there. Everybody walks around them. This one was just walking around the street, just, you know, you just don't, I can't believe we were there 2 weeks and never saw anybody get run over. The camels are actually working camels. They use them to haul things. It's not for, they have a place you can go ride them for tourists, but that's not it. On our way back to Delhi. On the roads are really good, but this was something, talk about overload. Wouldn't Ocean love to see this? The guy's right on the back, holding everything on. Down that whole line for miles are parked trucks. They are so busy. There's so much going on. And there's this guy on the side. He sells nuts and bananas, but I think his best customer is right there. It was really funny. This little fellow, he was like scoping me out. And I'm driving by in a car, so I'm just snapping, you know. I don't have time to really stop and see it. And this is him, he's kind of taking a look at me there.
I'm so happy.
And this is a bunch of kids having school on the side of the freeway. No class, this is their classroom. It was just, and this truck is talking about overload. I mean, they just pile them as high as they can. And I think this is the delivery man. Can you believe that, having all of those containers on there like that? And here comes, right on the side of the freeway, on that frontage road, is they're herding the sheep through there. Everybody works together. Nobody gets in the way of another person. When they're coming through with the sheep, everybody just kind of goes around and lets the sheep go through, and the sheep kind of stay together. They really are, it's incredible. I had to take a picture of the Indian flag to prove I was really in India. This is how they ride. I mean, we're not allowed to as tourists. We can't do this, but they ride like that all over. This is Google, there's Microsoft, there's Yahoo, huge complexes. This is the Silicon Valley of India, and it's the second fastest growing city in India. So it's 2 million people right now. These are school kids at one of the forts that I went to, and they wanted me to take a picture with their teacher, so they all got together and had me take the picture. Look at this picture. See the man? See the woman? No hands. She's got it now. This is an encampment of homeless people along the road there. Saw this quite frequently. There they are on an intersection right before the freeway. They live on that little island. And then here's another one where they're lined up there. It's just heartbreaking when you see. And it's not old, derelict people. These are families, children and stuff. This is a pedicab, and he's got that loaded to the top, and the one guy's pushing and the other guy's pedaling. This was at a mosque, and I just got so tickled because of the dad and the little boy. He's teaching the little boy how to pray. And they let you take pictures in there, so I was really surprised. The little boy got so tickled, he had to turn around and look at me to make sure I got his picture. This is the pedicab that I took when I went through there, and it was pretty incredible. You're riding along. I have some pictures I did it for about a 5-minute ride, and oh my word, the crush of people is incredible. And these are the wires. They're just every which way. Whoever runs the utilities over there, I give them a hand. This is the spice market. Beautifully displayed, beautifully done. They have every spice you could ever want. It smells so wonderful. This is the sidewalk. You just go like a fish up a ladder, and you just work your way through. And then we landed in Doha. This gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful airport. There's not a soul in it hardly. It's comparatively, you know. And then we're coming into JFK. I had to take a picture of our plane landing there, and there it is. Good old tower, you know, there's all of New York City right there. And there's, welcome home, Palm Springs. Finally made it back in one piece. But it was an incredible journey. That's what it's all about. The children are really just, you realize that they're the ones that are growing up. They're the ones that are going to be spreading the word, and they're the ones that we have to really envelop in our arms and our missions here. And I know, I'm sure we have a lot of people that have been on mission trips here, but I know there's people that haven't been. And if you haven't and you can go, I would say go. It is the most incredible journey you'll ever have in your life. And if you can't go, you can be a missionary right here by supporting these missions that go. It is incredible. I never thought too much about it. I always thought as a kid listening to mission stories and stuff. But when you see the impact that we make over there and the changes in their lives, you realize it is worth it. It's really happening. This particular part of India is part of the 1040 window where there's 85% Hindu, 10% Muslim, and 2% Christian. And they're not allowed to really preach. They can have their church services and stuff, but they can't really go out. So we were really, I didn't realize until I got there how lucky we were that we didn't get stopped with our services and stuff. Every 3 sites, we never had one time the police came in or ever stopped us. So we were very blessed. God was in control of the whole thing. So anytime that you have an opportunity to support these missions or to go on your own, please do it. It's a wonderful experience. Thank you.
captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Oh, come thou wisdom from high, and order all things far and nigh. To us the path of knowledge show, and cause us in her ways to go. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Awesome.
We didn't know we were coming. We found that out when we got here. But that's okay. We've been here before, and we know some of you, and we appreciate the opportunity. We're not always sure. Some of you maybe remember a movie called Cool Hand Luke. The famous line in that was, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Well, we had a little failure to communicate, but we're delighted that we could be here this evening. Are you tired of sitting? You want to stand up for a minute? You want to stand up? Okay, not a minute, but like count to 3. 1, 2, 2.5, 3. Thank you. You may be seated. We'll bring a short program for you tonight because it's the end of the week and a lot of us have had long weeks, etc. We'll bring a few of the Christmas songs that we've always enjoyed singing, and we hope that you enjoy them as well. Next we'll sing a French carol, Il est né le divin enfant.
Il est né le divin enfant, jouez au poing, résonnez musette. Il est né le divin enfant, chantons tous en avènement. Now is born the divine Christ child, lay the musette, play the tuneful oboe. Now is born the divine Christ child, let all sing and rejoice this day. Ages long since are past and gone, when the wise men foretold his coming. Ages long since are past and gone, Noel, Noel, then let us sing. Now is born the divine Christ child, play the musette, play the tuneful oboe. Now is born the divine Christ child, let all sing and rejoice this day.
man was remarkable because he listened to the voice of God and he obeyed. His name was Joseph. The woman was remarkable because she too listened to the voice of God and obeyed. And the child was the voice of God. The child, the baby Jesus, who came to save us from eternal loss, came as this little child. And when Mary looks at this little baby, does she know what will be in the future of this child? She has an idea, because I believe it was Simeon, is that correct, in the Bible, told her that a spear would pierce her heart as a result of what would happen with this child. And the angel had spoken to her about this child, but she could not have known. Tonight I'm very pleased to bring with us one of my former students, who is a musician, teacher in her own right, that has been so successful in what she's done. She's going to bring to us tonight the song that many of us know, the song of Mary, or Mary, Did You Know? What I'd like to do at this time is to present my student, my dear friend, Lilibeth Everdome. Would you welcome Lilibeth this evening? Little child, sleep peacefully. The stars will watch over you, and God's peace will come to you. Allah Namitan. How many wise men were there? You don't know? Thank you. We don't know. How many gifts were there? It was listed in the Bible. 3, and they were gold, frankincense, and the myrrh. Very, very precious. Tradition has it that since there were 3 gifts, there must have been 3 magi. And so we have the song, We 3 Kings.
La 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 la, la 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 la. We 3 kings of Oriental, bearing gifts we traverse of love, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. La 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 la, Lord of King, on Bethlehem's way, Lord thy King, to crown in the land, reigning forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and Lord and sovereign sacrifice. Hallelujah, hallelujah, sounds through the earth and skies. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
I'd like you to imagine now that you are in the Alps. Are there Alps in Germany? Yeah, maybe. I know there's Swiss Alps. Imagine, if you can, on a hillside, and you're singing. Over here, Fred. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend that this is the other side of the mountain range, and so the echo for this German carol, the echo.
I was going to the bar.
Yeah, the river is over there. You don't want to go over there, Fred. So, yeah, this is our echo, and there's a line in there. Oh, sing for joy, okay? And I have told them that we need to be a little bit competitive as to which group has the most joy when we sing. Oh, sing for joy. So we will let you decide that, and then we'll vote on that. No, we're not going to do that. But we'd like to bring to you a carol from Germany, Echo Carol.
While I my sheep did watch one night, lo, there appeared an angel bright. Oh, sing for joy, sing for joy, 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 joy. Praise be to God in heaven on high. Praise be to God in heaven on high. Born is the child in manger small, who
It was a tie. It's good. Yep. One of the great composer-arrangers in the Adventist Church was someone that many of you probably knew personally, but certainly had heard of, Wayne Hooper. He had a way of taking the simplest melody and arranging it for men's voices in a just a delightful way. And this next piece is a piece that he arranged, and we would like to bring you now it's very close, interestingly, to kind of barbershop harmony. And if Wayne were alive, he might not like me saying that, but I think he'd be okay with it. Wayne and I were good friends for many years. They laid my pretty little Jesus down in the straw. They laid my pretty little Jesus down in the straw. They laid my pretty little Jesus down in the straw. Then hallelujah, Lord, wasn't that a bright Bethlehem morning around the glory manger? See all his pretty little fingers playing in the straw. See all his pretty little fingers playing in the straw. Then hallelujah, Lord, wasn't that a bright Bethlehem morning around the glory manger? Hear all his pretty little cooing coming from the straw. Hear all his pretty little cooing coming from the straw. Then hallelujah, Lord, wasn't that a bright Bethlehem morning around the glory As Christians, we have not just a responsibility to be with Christ, in Christ, as we study and as we grow. We study Scripture, we sing songs, we listen for inspiration. But we also have a responsibility to share what we know, because we believe that this is a message that is vital for our eternal life, not just the life that's on this earth. So I'd like to finish, we're getting close to finishing. I know it's late for many of us. Another Wayne Hooper arrangement that talks about our responsibility, which is to take the message and go tell it on the mountain. Go tell it on the mountain. Go tell it on
the mountain, on the mountain. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. When shepherds kept their watching, or silent night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Down in a lowly manger, the humble Christ was born. And God sent us salvation, that blessed Christmas morn. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain, go tell it on the mountain, tell it on the mountain. Jesus Christ is born.
Lilibeth was a director of music at San Gabriel Academy for many, many years. And last spring we had the honor of hosting her choir at PUC where I work. That's in Angwin, California, which is in the Napa Valley, for those of you that are not familiar with Pacific Union College, Seventh-day Adventist School. And while we were there, we were basically talked into doing a duet, and we would like to close with that tonight. It's a song that many of you have heard, made famous by Celine Dion and Josh Groban and Andrea Bocelli. The song is simply entitled The Prayer. Sing with us, would you? Thank you